All right. A lot of y'all might know me as a guy who works on cars. But I want to introduce a project that isn't that. This project is, well, this bike with a wasp nest in the gas tank. But it's not gonna be a bike when it's done because I don't ride bikes. I don't have the coordination. So, what this is gonna be, and let me kind of give you a rundown here. This is a 90s CBR 600, and I had the bright idea, because I don't ride bikes and I don't have a motorcycle license, I had the bright idea of, well, let's take this and put it in a go-kart, something with four wheels, something I'm familiar with. And this is going to kind of be the documentation period of that process. It's going to be a very long process, and the videos are going to be more or less along the lines of Rob Daum's videos and explaining every little piece that's going to go into it and what I'm going to be thinking, more or less than a time lapse of the build. But I think for a lot of you, that's a little bit more entertaining. You want the knowledge more than the end product. But as much as I say that, there's probably people that are both. So let me kind of explain where I'm starting with it, and then I'll give you some updates as I go as to what I'm thinking and why I've kind of thought those things. But so I started down here with like the main wiring harness where everything connects, and I started tracing things and disconnecting. This goes to the gauge cluster, this goes to your ignition. I've taken the lights off and the intake tube, and obviously that, because it's not needed right now. But some of the things that I've been thinking about along this process are how I'm going to transfer this ignition key, because I want it to be a key thing. If for some reason I forget to bring it in the garage at the end of the night, I'm going to be taking this key inside regardless. It's not going to be staying in the car, in the go-kart, because if some kid, there's a lot of neighbor kids around here, if some kid comes and says, hey, that looks cool, and decides that they want to play around on it, they're going to hit a tree very, 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 very fast. I don't know if you guys have seen videos of 600cc go-karts, but I mean, they absolutely fly. They're stupid, absolutely stupid. So I really don't want any of the neighbor kids accidentally getting on this. So I'm keeping this. This is one of the things I'm gonna have to mount up. There's a wire that goes behind here, and there's two bolts right there, and it'll plop down, and I can mount it up from there. Same with this ignition switch, just for convenience sake. And then brakes and clutches. Clutch, I'm probably gonna do the cliche thing of pretty much extending this to be like a straight up and down lever with this mounted on the end of said lever. Just because that's an easy way to do a clutch, and maybe at some point, depending on how as I'm saying that, I'm looking at this and realizing I'm gonna have to take this whole bracket, because this has a neutral safety switch, or appears to be a neutral safety switch on it. So that's going to be, well, it might be a neutral safety switch, might be the, just tells you that your clutch is in. Kind of like on cars where you have it in and you can wire a two-step up to it. But I mean, regardless, I think because I am going to try to keep as much of this wiring harness and computer system as I can, I'm going to want that on there just to avoid problems in the computer and it potentially seeing things as an issue and shutting off. I want to avoid that as much as possible. I'm not going to be using this gas tank on the final product. I am going to be cleaning this up, repainting it, and selling it though, just because it's better than throwing it away. But this gas, the tanks, what's it called? Tells you how full your tank is. I forget what it's called. It's a gauge. It's not a gauge. It's a sensor. I'm going to keep this part of the wiring harness because that's what connects to it, and I'm going to keep this, but it's going to go in the gas tank that I'm going to use for the go-kart when it's done. Keep it simple. Let's see, what else have I been thinking? Fuel pump, I'm gonna have to mount that up. It doesn't look very hard to mount up. It looks like I could just drill a hole and bolt it up somewhere. Same thing with the clutch master cylinder. Inline fuel filter, pretty standard. Right now, the biggest problem we're having with this bike, it will run if you bypass the gas tank and spray fuel in the intake. Reason being, this is not working. I don't believe the fuel pump is either. So as far as that bracket goes, that's the only thing I'm keeping there. Fuel pump itself is getting switched out. I think it's like 15 bucks. Anyways, I might paint the bike up as a frame before I sell it. If any of you want to buy it, let me know. But yeah, I don't think I'm going to keep the hazards. I'll probably keep this shut-off switch. That fucking looks like a lawnmower. That's so funny. Like the little thing on lawnmowers for like the blade speed. That's funny to me. But yeah, I'm not going to keep the turn signals. What is this? This a horn? I might keep that. Probably not. But this brake cylinder, I might keep. And I might see if I can incorporate these disc brakes. I know they're big into the go-kart. I want, honest to God, I actually think tires about this size would be good for the go-kart. Or the rear tires. Yeah, something like this would be good for the go-kart's rear tires. I mean, go-kart tires, like on a big wheel, they're just gonna spin. I'd like some traction, but it's not needed. Alrighty, I hope at some point during this series you guys can learn something. I am gonna have fun, mostly. And then I'm gonna give myself a couple headaches during this series, project thing that I'm doing in my garage. I just hope it's fun to rip around the neighborhood when I'm done. That's it.